Hi there. In the previous lecture, we looked at how to create our navigation buttons within our pagination so that the front-end user can easily uh, navigate between result sets returned by our pagination. In this lecture, I would like to talk about adding a category element to the posts on our blog site. So the first thing that we will need to do is have a look in our models file, and what we will need here is two things. The first thing being an additional field uh, that we add to our post model, which will allow us to select a category for our post. And the second thing that we will need to do is actually create the category model itself. Now, the two things that I feel should be important within the context of the category model is the title and the slug. Something else that we're also going to add is a self-referencing foreign key. So basically what that is a foreign key as we have created for our author, except it will reference back to another category, and we will create that as a parent category. So by adding that particular attribute, it will allow our categories to have parents and children and function in a hierarchical way. So if that doesn't make sense right now, let's dive into the code and hopefully it will make more sense then. Cool. So the first thing that I want to do is actually create our category class. So we create a new class, oopsie, we create a new class and we call it category. Uh, Close brackets. And this category is going to inherit from the base class, base model class here the same way that the post did, and we want to add two fields to this class. The first being title, and we are going to add title. Let's just copy this because it's a bit easier that way. So title is going to be added the same way that we've added title in the model, and then slug the same way there. So let us actually create this slug in a similar way. So before we go ahead and create any links or create our self-referencing field, which I spoke about earlier, I just want to clean up these null values quickly. So for the title on the post, we will never want this title to be null. We will always want it to be something. So I'm going to remove that null on the title and remove the null on the text, as we want these two fields to be compulsory. And in the same way, I'm going to do that on the title for a category and the slug from the category. So now we have to have a title and we have to have text for our post, and we have to have a title and we have to have slug for our category. Cool. Now let's add our foreign key field to our post, which is going to reference our category. So I'm just going to copy the author field for now, and I will call it a category with a small c. And in here we are going to reference the name of the application and then the model within that application, or the class. So the blog application is the application that we're calling, and then it's going to be the category class within that model. So now we can actually just copy this because most of it is going to remain the same when we create our parent field. So when we spoke about the self-referencing key, foreign key, this is what we're speaking about. So we're speaking about a foreign key that references back to a different category. So this category, so we can pull in a different category of the same type into this category, so it can match to another category of itself. So this is all looking good here. I'm happy with this. The last thing that I want to do is to just add this toString method to our category. The title field matches the title field here, and I'm happy for the title field to be the string that is returned when we call this category object. So this function is fine like this. This method is fine like this. Lovely. So now what we need to do is we need to create our migrations. So if we go back to our console and we say Python, and then we say let's just ls to see if we're in the right folder. No. Oh, it looks as though we were actually running our server. So um, what we're going to run here is Python manage.py, and then we are going to make our migrations. And I want to call our specific application migrations that we want to make. So let's see what happens. It says you are trying to add a non-nullable field category to post without a default. We can't do that. So basically what it is telling us is that the field category is something that needs to be required. But unfortunately, we don't have anything to set for any posts that possibly already exist. So I'm going to quit this. So select option number 2 and go back into my model again. And then I want to create functionality in here and in here where the category and the parent of a category do not need to be selected. Now when we are talking about something that is a string field or a character field, we refer to the parameter null is equal to true. In this case, we are not referring to that. We are referring to whether or not this is a blank value or not. So it is very similar to null is equal to true, except the keyword that we use is blank. So here we are saying blank is equal to true. So this can have a blank field. The difference between null and blank is that uh, null is a value that contains nothing, whereas blank is there just isn't a value at all. So a text field can just be an empty string, whereas a parent self-referencing foreign key won't have any value, so it won't be an empty string, it'll just be nothing, which is blank. Okay, lovely. So we've set these two things up now, and let's go back and make our migrations again. So we are going to say make migrations blog. Okay, cool. And it says you're trying again. We are trying to add a non-nullable field. Let's add the null equal to true here, just to be safe, because I feel that I may have confused what is actually going on here. So we have blank is equal to true and null is equal to true on both, just to be safe. Let's go back here and let's try that one more time. It's giving us the same. Please provide a want-off default value now. Ah, yes, okay, cool. So it is working, except this time it is referring to the text field. So I'm just going to put the string null into this for now. Just we don't actually want to do that. We want to provide a once-off default value. So we're going to provide a value, and that value is going to be a string of null. So this shouldn't affect anything because all of the current posts that we have got values in our text field. So if we hit enter, it's happy with that. Now it's trying to do the same thing with the title. So I'm going to do the same thing with the title again. So any posts that have the field title that don't contain any value, we're going to set to null. Great, and this is only because we've changed this title and this text field here from having the possible value of null to now not that not being a possibility. There has to be something in here. So every instance where it could possibly now be null, it is now set to that null string. Great. So now we have created our migrations, and now we need to run the migrations on the server. So we do that by running the migrations command. So Python and then manage.py and then the migrate command, and we want to call the application to run the migrations on. And it is successfully run our migrations. That's great. So now if we go to, we actually need to run our server again. So Python manage.py run server. And we refresh this page, we add a new post, and it now has this category field here that we can create. Now what you'll notice is that we don't have any posts. Now this is me going and clearing out all of the posts because I wanted to start with a fresh set of data so that when we work with our categories, we're not working with any faulty data from our previous lectures. So if we now go to our blog section, you'll see that, well, our blog app, you'll see that our category model has not yet been added to the administration section. So this is something that we need to do. We need to now go to our admin.py file, and as we registered our post before, we now need to register our category. Great, and we just need to also remember to make sure that the category class is also being pulled into this file. So now the category is being registered in the admin area. So now if we refresh this page, great, now we have access to our categories.